Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. Welcome to the daily pre-market prep. All right, we got a few items to talk about. Last Friday, I'd let you know there were three big catalysts I was looking for. One was metrics, updated record August metrics is what I was looking for from CFVI. I was looking for VTSI to release a PR on $9 million order, and I was looking for DRIO news. So we got 2 out of 3 of them. So let's go through those first, and then we'll get to the macro stuff. So first, CFVI. Now, at the time on Friday, I had no idea on the timing. I based on just past trends and data I was seeing coming out of everywhere. I had predicted that they would want to release record August metrics, particularly with the vote coming next week on 9/15. So that was a prediction. Yesterday, what happened? If you look at this chart, at around 1:50 p.m. or so. It was this last leg up from like 13 to the high 13s yesterday. Rumble, on the Rumble account, they said that tomorrow morning we're going to be releasing August metrics. Anyway, it came out this morning, and yesterday afternoon I had warned the community it could be a sell the news event. Now, the numbers came out this morning, and it was much, much, much higher than I expected. It's not in the news feed yet. Okay, it was released via a blog and also on the Rumble social media account. The number was 78 million. I don't know what this is about right now. I don't think these are real orders. Let me just check my level 2. These are late prints from early this morning. Okay, so like earlier this morning was near $15. Those are printing now. The price is actually 1286 by 1290. So anyway, the numbers were a blowout. I am going to be updating the chart. You guys seen I've had this like chart on Excel tracking the monthly active user growth. With this latest input of 78 million monthly active users in August, it's going to look like a hockey stick, really exploding. Now we're seeing some selling this morning. I think most of that is just event traders that were anticipating what I was anticipating and had a pre-planned trade plan to sell the news. And I think that's what we're seeing in pre-market this morning. Now, another possibility to look at, you have to realize the 78 million monthly active users, a lot of this is probably just web traffic hitting rumble.com on the Andrew Tate stuff, and not really users that are going to convert into an account or convert into sticky users. So just be aware of that. And I'm not surprised that they didn't report the how many billions of minutes were watched in August, right? Because the blowout was going to be the headline traffic numbers coming from Andrew Tate, right? And that's going to be much more impressive than the uptick they're going to see in minutes watched. So I'm not surprised at all in how this played out, except I think that number way exceeded my expectations, and that chart is going to look spectacular when I update it later this morning. So is it possible this is just a small sell the news contingent that's going to be overwhelmed in regular hours by buyers? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see if we can take a look at some technical levels. There was a chart that we passed around in the community that someone else put together for me. It said $13 is a big resistance level, and after that, then 15 is the next resistance level. So 13 and 15. Now, if we don't break back above 13 and head towards 15, let's see if we can find support together. Well, there's a gap here. So that was 1194 at the top of this candle, and the bottom of yesterday's candle is 1205. So call it $12. And then there's also this previous high at 1250. So maybe those are your support levels. What was the close here was 1290. What am I looking at? Weekly? Let's get to, okay, here we go. So yeah, I would say right in here. So about $12 to $12.50. I would say 12 to $12.50 if it doesn't take off on this monthly active user numbers. Maybe 12 to $12.50 is a place that would be a good pullback support zone if you're interested in picking up. The other place is the 200-day moving average at 1130. I think that between now and the vote on September 15th, dips are buyable. This is going to be very volatile. Any dips will get bought up, And then obviously there's a lot more risk come September 15th. I'm probably going to sell at least 30% of my stake by September 14th. And if I miss some upside, okay, I might miss it. But there's a big chance that you'll see a huge sell the news event on September 15th. There's also a small chance the vote doesn't go through because retail is, it's hard to get retail to vote for these proxy votes. So that's an issue to be aware of. So that's the story with CFVI. Definitely, I'm very excited about that huge number, 78 million. I can't wait to put it together in a graphic and share it with everyone. We're seeing, this is just summarize what I just said. We're seeing sell the news this morning. Question is it just going to be pre-market will be overtaken? We don't know the answer to that. We'll have to just wait and watch. All right. DRIO, we still don't have news. That's just pre-market painter. So, I mean, this has been disappointing. It hit a new 52-week and a 2.5-year low yesterday. I don't know what to say. At this point, I did say in the DRIO research group, it's not only now they need a bunch of catalysts to come through to turn around sentiment. One catalyst is not enough, right? The insurer announcing the launch of this relationship and the details of it and the nature of it, all that will be good, but they're also now going to need to announce the regional insurer win. They're probably going to want Sanofi to invest here in the next month or so. They're going to have to announce a lot of other employer contract wins to really turn around this story, because when technically you're at those levels, we already know the sentiment was bad. It's going to take more than one catalyst to turn it around. So that's where we are. And at this point, they just have to execute. And there is the opportunity to cram in several large catalysts in the next 4 to 6 weeks. That's definitely possible. We have to see if they do it. So it's a tough market. Things don't always work out the way you want it to. Okay. All right. We got the PR finally. This is going to be interesting because the question is this priced in or not, right? Everyone in our community knew about the 9 million in orders, but the broader market didn't, unless the broader market is just our community for this stock. So that's what we're going to find out today. I'm sure this is news to a lot of people who are looking at the news feeds, but they may not even be interested in VTSI. They may not know about it. I don't know. But the question is, those who are interested, know about it, who are prone to buy it, did they already do all the buying when the orders were on that government website? Or is there going to be new buying today with this PR out? My bet is there's going to be new buying today. That's why I've been holding on to most of my shares. I sold about 20-25% of my shares of my trading shares. I'm holding my core of my trading shares at the 200 DMA at around 570. So I still have about 75% of my trading shares, and I'm looking for a pop today. You can see we have resistance here at 622. No, 625, let's call it. All right, $6.25 at the 50-week moving average. So I'm hopeful that at least we will hit 625 today, and then we'll have to take it from there. So where's the next resistance level after 625? That's a lot of congestion. I don't think there's a big gap. It's just going to have to work its way higher after 625. But it'll be nice to break that 50-week moving average. And what are we looking at here? What are we on the daily or weekly? Get this. That's a 200-day. There you go. So the next major resistance will be right around 7, maybe 690 at the 200-day. So 625 and 690. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll be surprised. If there's no buying, I'll be proven wrong. And what I'll learn is that our community is very, very broadly encompassing when it comes to this particular stock. That's the lesson learned if it doesn't go up. So that's going to be interesting. LLKKF, new CEO appointed. You can check out the comments in the VIP research room from Tony, who brought this to the attention of our community. There's a lithium stock. There is one oil stock I want to mention before we go into everything here. SM came through on my news feed. I added it to my watch list. It came through because I have XLE on my news feed. Set a 500 million stock repurchase program, boost dividends. So that looked pretty meaningful compared to a $5 billion market cap. I asked around the room if anyone's familiar with SM. We actually did get someone who's very familiar with SM in our community speaking up, saying it's actually his one of his largest positions that he trades, and has made more money on this stock than any other in his trading endeavors. So he knows a lot about SM. We're looking forward to learning more from him. That seems like a pretty big buyout. I'm not endorsing buying it or selling. You can look at these DMAs. For some reason, maybe it was a disappointment. Maybe the expectations were higher in terms of the dividend boost or the buyback, because you can see it's gapping below the 20 DMA in pre-market here. So, but that's something now on our watch list, and we'll collaborate with that gentleman. I don't know if he wants his name known out here on the shows, but we'll collaborate with him to find out more about SM. Okay, now we get to the indices. Let's just look. What is the real? It's hard to, all these fake prints coming through, late prints on CFVI. It's hard to know what the real price is. It is 1330. Looking over on my E-Trade here on my other screen. Okay, it is 1330. The ask that a lot of trades going through right now, some volume coming in, 1309 by 1329. Okay, so in any case, now let's get to the major indices. Now, what I want to point out before we look at QQQ, SPY, ARK, Bitcoin is TLT and UP, right? We've learned last week about quantitative tightening. We put these indicators up right at the top now to basically watch the impact of quantitative tightening on a daily basis, right? TLT has been selling off, and you can see that in the long-term chart as well. So bonds sell off, yields, interest rates go up, which strengthens the dollar. That's UUP. So inverse relationship between these two. Now, what's interesting is that yesterday morning, while the pre-market was very green for QQQ and SPY, what you saw was TLT was deep red and UUP was sharp green yesterday, right? Which to me, and I put it in the chat room, I said, could this be a sign, right? Could this be a signal of where the market's really at today and where it may be going today? Because why? Because the bond and the currency market is much, much larger and much harder to manipulate than the equities market when it comes to pre-market. This is something that's stuck in my head for a long time, since Jim Cramer had something out, a video where he went on a rant, this is like 20 years ago, about how the futures market very often put it in the opposite direction to get them, like if they want to sell a lot of stock, if they want to sell, billions or tens of billions of stock at 9:30 a.m., so they'll push it up with a smaller amount in the futures market so they can start selling at a higher level, and vice versa. And I've seen that in action. I see it almost all the time. The futures market and the equities market very often is a contrarian signal because of that manipulation. But TLT and UUP much harder to manipulate. So that's why I like now watching TLT and UUP as maybe signs of what's going on. Now, this morning, they're both green, right? You're not seeing that inverse relationship, which I don't know. Like, you start thinking, remember how it used to be, guys? Like, back in the day, bonds and stuff, bonds used to be flight to safety, right? Where do you invest your money? Either stocks or bonds. If there's risk in the market, you shift to bonds. That's why you have the 60-40 portfolios. That hasn't worked out this year at all. And it hasn't worked out because we haven't seen many regimes of quantitative tightening. And a lot of maybe even fund managers have not had experience with that. There may be a lot of young fund managers out there. So a lot of portfolios have gotten hammered, 60-40 portfolios, people thinking bonds would do well this year because it's risk off, but bonds have done poorly because of the move towards higher interest rates and now quantitative tightening. So this morning, though, they're both green in the same direction. So it's a mixed signal. It's not going to be perfect signals every morning, but it's something to watch. And you can see where we are with the QQQ, SPY, and ARK, and we're still in that spot. Look, it's just a bad spot to be in. You're not going to turn bullish until we break these moving averages to the upside. So you have your downside targets there. The lows and the 200-week moving average are your downside areas where it could go. I like seeing oil has been going down. Oh, wow. Something must have just come out on oil. I don't know what that is, but oil is crashing. I like seeing that. It means the system's working. Ooh, I like it. We're below the 200 DMA. I like that, one of the potential positive side effects of the strong dollar is lower commodity prices. Obviously, that's what they want to do, right? It's about bringing down inflation. When you raise interest rates, strengthen the dollar, that's another way that inflation comes down because your commodity prices are going to get cheaper. So I love seeing that USO down this morning. Uranium still doing pretty good this morning, although it gave back a lot of its gains yesterday. Some of them are better than others on these uranium charts. Let's check SMR. SMR has been very strong. There were more comments this morning. Here we go. UK Prime Minister Truss said, I want us to use more UK oil and gas and nuclear. All right. So lots of positive tailwinds and sentiment with nuclear. I had put out a space yesterday. Hopefully, some of you were able to attend it at 4 p.m. yesterday on Twitter Spaces with a panel talking about nuclear. So it was a very informative space. All right, guys, that's it. Today at 4:30, we will be doing our weekly meetup because of how the schedule went with Labor Day. We didn't do it in the evening, Monday night or Tuesday night, but today we'll have it at 4:30 p.m. What I'd like to do is discuss a little bit about what's going on with the geopolitics and what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. A couple people I invited from our community to join to give their perspectives on that. So that's going to be interesting. And of course, we'll probably talk a little CFVI or whatever else is on your mind. So join us 4:30 p.m. We'll throw the Zoom link into the WhatsApp room later this afternoon. Thanks, everyone. Good luck.